Hi, I'm Dr. Dana Pecor, the founder and CEO of Pecor Worldwide, a VIP protection and threat management firm. Today I bring you to Las Vegas, Nevada, a public shooting range. And at some point you're probably going to hear some pops, and that's going to be because people are actually practicing on the range. And now you're probably wondering, well, why is Dr. Pecor bringing us to a shooting range? Well, if you go to my website on our threat assessment model, you'll see that on the fifth point of our 10-point threat assessment model is weapons use. Now, weapons use is what we use, one of the components of what we use in regards to assessing potential violence, whether that be in the workplace or a school setting or a variety of other locations. Now, first thing I want to clear up right now, for all you weapon lovers, I am not saying people who own a weapon or purchase weapons or have hobbies with weapon use does not mean that you will be violent. It's in conjunction with other components that I am looking for. For instance, what if there was a recent purchase of a weapon and at the same time this individual also is depressed, or there's alcohol use or some other type of stimulant use? I am concerned. What if there was a threat? Yes, I'm going to be concerned. And it's not always about threats, because just because someone makes a threat does not mean that they're going to be violent. Sometimes those who don't make threats are more violent than those who do. So we need to look at the entire picture of a threat assessment. But when there is a weapon involved and there is potential volatility, it's very easy for that person to reach and pick up that weapon because it's easily accessible, and especially if they're proficient with weapons. So yes, I am going to look for military background or law enforcement background. And again, that doesn't mean I'm from law enforcement. Doesn't mean that someone is violent, but it will give me more information in regards to assessing violence. One of the things that I'm going to do when I assess someone, when I have the luxury of being able to assess somebody before they're terminated, is that I'm going to ask them questions. When was the last time you owned a gun? Was there a recent purchase? What type of magazines? What type of movies do you look at? One of the last questions I ask is, and why should I believe you? I want to get that very instinctual feel for this person about whether or not they're telling me the truth or not. I actually read some of these potential questions in another threat assessment expert's book, and I thought they were fantastic to use, especially that last question. Are they being truthful? Very, very key here, because we want to get a good feel about whether this person is going to be volatile or not. So when we go back to weapons use, yes, it's one of the things that we have to look for, but it does not mean they're going to be dangerous. The one thing I always recommend for all of you who have any type of struggle that you're dealing with, depression, alcohol, I do not recommend that those particular types of individuals have and own weapons, because at any moment when you are in your low, or even when you're coming out of your low, some of the most suicides are when people are coming out of the depression. And you're probably thinking, why is that? That doesn't make sense. Well, because now they have the energy to actually pull the trigger. Before, they were so depressed they could barely move. So it's not only when they're in the depression, it could be when they're slowly coming out of the depression. You have a weapon, you have a gun, it's easily accessible, they know how to use it, they pull the trigger. So please, when it comes to weapon use, this is key in regards to assessing violence. Thank you.